Sonja, hello and welcome. I'm very glad that you accepted this invitation to be part of the Well-Be Brief video series. I'm happy to know you as a professional and now to have you as a guest in our web studio, thanks to the connection of the internet platform. Welcome, happy to see you.
Thank you for the invitation.
How did your day started? Maybe we can start with a brief check-in, starting this interview instead the very first question I would have for you.
How did my day started? I would say with the first breath. And being aware of the first breath before you start preparing yourself for the day.
That's a beautiful reminder. We all have not to forget to breathe indeed. Sonja, I would like first to give you the floor to present yourself. I know you, but for the people who watch this video series and meet you for first time, please share a few words about you.
Let me take the opportunity before I say a few words about myself that we start with a moment to arrive in this nice interview and also with a short check-in. And for this, also for the people watching the video afterwards, my invitation is that you just adjust yourself in case you are sitting on a chair and maybe you just move yourself a little bit forward. So to make sure that you have a back straight and not sitting like a beetle, so to say. And also the invitation is that you just close your eyes for a moment and make sure that both feet are flat on the floor. And shift your attention inwards. And just take a little moment for now and connect yourself with your whole body system and become aware of all of your body parts, your feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, the whole back, which is carrying you the whole day. Your fingers, your hands, your arms. And straighten your upper body. Become aware of your head, your face, forehead. And just take 2, 3, 4 conscious breaths and just observe how the oxygen finds its way through the nostrils, become your own observer. And now everything what happened already this day, just leave it behind. Maybe all the appointments, meetings, work, to-dos, which you will have after this video. Pause it a moment. Now the invitation is to take care and provide your full presence, attention to this video and to this interview. And if you feel ready, you just can open your eyes. If you want, you can stretch or dance, sing, whatever feels good for you.
that was good to remind ourselves of our bodies which are here, that are here to serve us,
Yes,
to carry us, and yeah, body in a way is an ally of the mind. And this technique that you just proposed, this brief guided exercise, we can call it, was a very gentle and nice reminder of that. So thank you.
thank you for joining. And it's maybe also like building the bridge, because I feel like since COVID and also with the digital transformation, we are spending so much time in front of a computer or doing so much online. And sometimes we just forget, first of all, to reconnect to ourselves, and also connect to the people in the virtual room. And, you know, if you do like this mindful check-in and spend this second to arrive mentally, physically, but also on an energetic level to a meeting. At least this is my experience, which I can share. The meetings or the interviews or whatsoever, the training, coaching will be much more productive. And at the same time, the human connectivity will also increase, although it's digital, so to say.
I cannot agree more, and I also would add that we are two of us from the two sides of the screen for each one, but then everyone is here in their physical environment, having their physical routine, opportunity to touch objects, to feel the authenticity of the moment, and then it's valid and the same for the other person. So the other person is not just someone on the screen, but they're also human being from the other side, also being in their physical surrounding. Exactly. So thank you. I would say that this was a great way already to introduce yourself to who is watching the interview, this episode of the brief interview video series under the WellBe project. But still, I would like to welcome you and to give you the floor to present yourself. And thank you for accepting our invitation to join us as a guest.
Thank you very much. And again, also for the invitation. I'm really looking forward also about the topic, and also to share and to talk about you, how we as trainers can provide high quality training, but also future oriented, so to say. So also in a new way of thinking, with a new future mindset. So coming back to myself, so I make it on a KISS principle. So I will keep it short and simple, because those people who are interested to know more about me, so invitation is just to connect on LinkedIn or just check the website. So in very brief, so my name is Sonja Karbon, Managing Director of Karbon Consulting, which is based in Austria. And fields of business, it's based on 3 pillars, you can say. So one pillar is everything about development, training, education, mostly in the context of Erasmus Plus projects or European projects. The other one is like developing, providing educational designs for the profit sector, non-profit sector, but also for public institutions. So it depends, but also for universities. So I'm also an external lecturer at the university with the subject of mindfulness leadership and diversity and intercultural competences. And the other part, or the third pillar, is consulting for organizations. So with the main topic of like female leadership, mindfulness leadership, so everything about leadership, because I myself worked a couple of years as a manager, so I know what it means. Managing projects, managing a team, leading a team, and at the same time to cultivate self-leadership. So that's somehow the red thread, so to say.
in a way, we can say that leadership indeed starts from within, from the self, and that's beautiful to say and to remind. Sonja, you are a trainer with extended experience. You just mentioned the pillars and the directions you work in, and I know from you that you are interested in developing your services in the area of mindfulness leadership. I somehow connect this topic to the stress we all experience on a daily basis as trainers, as facilitators, but also our clients, our learners, people who we serve too. And as the Wellbe project is a project in service, first of all, of trainers, how to embed coaching practices in their training and facilitation, I would like to invite you to link it to the mindfulness leadership practices. And more particularly in the context of stress. We know stress is contagious. So how and what is some basic care we as trainers should take of ourselves, so not to pay it forward in the training room, but indeed with care and thought of those we serve to.
So let us maybe start and look a little bit more about stress. In that sense that, first of all, we have the two types of stress, right? Because also, I mean, sometimes it happens to me. So when I'm having a training in a new organization or with a group of people whom I never met before, so I'm nervous, you never know what's going on in the training. You can be prepared the best, but you always have the group dynamic. So it's always a box of surprises, so to say. And for me, this is the kind of like positive stress, right? So this is like what we also experience as trainers, this having a roller coaster. On the one side, you're always a little bit insecure, but on the other side, it's also exciting, right? So this is also the nice side of this stress. And the other side, for sure, is when we look at stress, and especially when you're providing trainings on this topic, for me, it's really important not to only have the kind of theoretical knowledge or the kind of book knowledge, so on a rational level, so to say, but also live what you preach in that sense. And, for me, it's always like the little things. Just yesterday, I had a lecture on mindfulness leadership, and, just one question. I mean, just make a guess. What do you think? How many breaths do we take per day? What do you think?
I would say thousands probably, but have no idea.
Oh, you really breathe very slowly then.
Do I?
So you are already very relaxed.
Okay.
In average, it's around 17,000.
Okay.
And your breath is such a powerful tool because it makes it possible that you're still alive. And when you think, okay, more than 70,000 breaths per day, and then when you compare it now, okay, how many of these breaths are you really aware of? Question.
Probably very few for most of the people.
6 to 20. If you're very ambitious, you would say 100 whatsoever. So it's just a tiny part. And also as trainers, when it comes to stress and stress management, it's like, okay, how can I integrate my understanding of a healthy and resilient lifestyle, mindset, heart set, so to say, and how can I practice it in my daily life? Because this is how I will step into a training. This is what the people will feel, because this is how I will create the atmosphere. Take this moment and just breathe. I'm breathing. Wow, this is working. Great. The topic with mindfulness and awareness is this is not a one-stop shop where you maybe learned it in an education or in a training, or you read a book or whatsoever. So for me, these are topics which you can practice every day, and it's a process of your whole life. This is not, okay, here I show you how to fix a car, and here in person I'm completely different, because it's so interconnected with your being, mindfulness, because it starts with yourself. So you cannot separate, so to say. You cannot separate the subject with the person, or with the trainer and the training. It's too close.
Is this what you refer to when you say mindfulness leadership? What is usually the way or like direction in which you work with leaders?
I would say it has a lot of areas which have to be covered with mindfulness leadership. So like the ability to self-reflect, the kind of self-awareness, as we just did it before. So just be aware of my own body, or being aware of my own thoughts. So creating this gap between action and reaction, the way how we talk to people, the way how we define leadership, the way how we define our role as trainers. So it's a big box, not of Pandora, but it's a nice box.
And this then moves me to another question I have for you, which is related to your experience and practice in cultural, organizational setting, where you probably bridge different layers of, so everyone, especially now in the modern world, we have plenty of organizations where we do have this international environment, and it's not only in Brussels and not only in New York, but all over Europe, even in smaller places. I myself have had the experience to already work with teams where we not only have people from different countries, like team of 10 people from different countries, but like even 3 continents representing as well. What is the best way to approach as trainer and facilitator this cultural diversity we have at the workplace nowadays?
My experiences, and that is the only thing what I can share, is to empty yourself as a trainer, which is quite the opposite, because normally as a trainer you expect to yourself that you provide knowledge, a good toolbox, you perform, and the glitter and glamour, and everyone says, wow, what a great training. So, but that's a kind of trap when it comes to diversity, and maybe when you're working with different cultural backgrounds, so to say, because I feel the secret is, if you empty yourself, you will manage to develop this skill, becoming like this ignorant child, and it makes you open. Because if you as a trainer are full with all your concepts and methods and whatever you know, you will not grasp all the participants in a training. And it's like going and just be curious about the people, because every culture is so different, and to manage a dialogue and to manage to unfold the cultural differences in order to experience that we are all humans in that sense with the same needs, you have to empty yourself. You can have a lot of theory and concepts and models, but that will not work out when it comes to diversity. It is important that you know that as a trainer, like having your theoretical background, but emptying yourself allows you to really listen to the people, to look behind the cultural background, why are they thinking like this? Why are they dealing with stress, for example, in this or that sense? You know, like once I had an awareness training in India, in a very remote place with women, and I was so shocked. I was so shocked about the stiffness, and even like that they allowed them to follow the exercises, what we have done. And then, you know, I discovered, okay, this had to do like with the cultural influence, that it was not very common the way how I prepared the training. So they were not used to it. So being an expert is nice on a topic, but at the same time develop this, emptiness, the insecurity.
If you have to pick one skill that is the magic skill of a trainer or a facilitator, it's a bit controversial now to ask you this question, as you just said, empty yourself and don't be the expert. But still, in the facilitation practice, what could be one skill that you find most important, so to serve in the best possible way to your learners and to audiences you work with, for yourself, and then, of course, to share it with others and how to develop that skill?
There is one skill which I believe is the most important one when you work as a trainer, and I frame it with the word oscillon. So it's like a vibration recorder. So having this skill when you're entering in a room and you're having here a bunch of people, getting the atmosphere, so to say, the dynamic, and then having this courage. Maybe you have to adjust your training or whatsoever, because you know what happens is when you have your training, you're prepared, you have your training design, you have your methods, maybe you have a presentation whatsoever. But the atmosphere of a group, you know, there is like an underlying dynamic whatsoever, and you don't know what's going on. So for me, the sign of an excellent trainer is, first of all, grasping this atmosphere of the people and having this flexibility to adjust. Because sometimes what I experience with trainers, you know, they have their plan, they want to go, they want to have their red thread, and then they just provide their training, but they never like grasp the atmosphere in the group. And then it's not very sustainable in that sense, because you have to question yourself. You're working with people, with participants, and not robots, so to say, where you not only perform, but where you also should think, okay, how can this training really have an impact? And this is the vibration recording.
We talk about and we identify the principle of agility as one of the underlying principles, the horizontal principles that one trainer and facilitator who would like to employ some coaching in their practice, some coaching principles should implement. And I connect it somehow to this skill that you just described. Thank you so much for this interview, Sonja, and for your time. It was lovely and inspiring to have you as a guest.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.